Hello, fourth graders. Welcome to the final reading of Maniac Magee. Last two chapters. Chapter 45 Magee! Magee! Maniac's first groggled thought was that it was the buffalo calling to him. Then he thought, it's the superintendent. He's discovered me, and he's come to kick me out. He propped himself on his elbow, swatted a straw from his ear, and gave a better listen. Magee! Magee! Mars bar. It was the second night following the morning at the trestle. Maniac had been asleep in the buffalo lean-to. He stood. Magee! Where are you? Here. Over here. He headed toward the voice over the hoof-chopped earth. The moon was full. He could see Mars bar's dark form against the fence. Then he could see his eyes. What are you doing here? I've been looking for you. I heard you hung out here. Where'd you hear that? Amanda Beale. You really sleep here, man? What do you want? Where's the buffaloes? I can't see 'em. They're sleeping, like every other person that's got sense. What are you doing out here at this time of night? I snuck out. I'm not there when they wake up. They'll figure I'm out running, like usual. Ain't you afraid in there? No. Both fell silent. Cricket talk and fireflies held the night. Magee? Yeah? I gotta ask you something. Go ahead. Why'd you. Why didn't you go after the kid? Why'd you go away? Maniac didn't answer. Listen, man, I know you wasn't scared. I know it. So I had to come ask you. Maniac's voice came faintly. Is he okay? I asked you first. Maniac drew a long breath. You want to come in? Mars Bar laughed. You kidding? Ain't no buffalo gonna eat this dude. They don't eat people. You come out here, man. Maniac climbed the fence. He started to walk. Mars Bar walked with him. Maniac told him the story of his parents' death. He told about his problem with the trestle, how he had learned to avoid it. And then, all of a sudden, there I was, on the platform, looking out at it, closer to it than I ever was before, up on the same level. I always saw it from below before. Now I was up there too, where they were, looking down, and it was more real than ever. The nightmare was worse than ever. I saw the trolley coming. I saw it falling. Them. They walked in silence past the silo-shaped cage of the broken-winged golden eagle. Mars Bar swallowed hard. His voice was hoarse. I knew you wasn't scared. Maniac sniffed. I don't remember much. Next thing I knew, I was somewhere on Swede Street. Somebody come down to the East End like you did, all by hisself, a fish belly, get all up in my face? He rippled a stick along the deer pen fence. I knew scared wasn't it. So, said Maniac, what happened? Mars Bar laughed, wagged his head. Happened? Man, I still don't believe it. He rippled the fence. That little kid, he looks at me all his crybaby face and says, okay, can I go out and get his brother? I look around like, is somebody else here? I says to him, who you talking to? Me? I'm just pulling his chain, only he don't know it. 'Cause I'm ticked a little, 'cause there he was hollering for you up the street, and there I am standing right alongside the darn kid. Understand what I'm saying? Maniac nodded, and out of the darkness came the strangest sound, a kind of amplified gulp. Mars Bar jumped. What's that? Emu, said Maniac. There. Behind the nearest fence loomed a tall, thin neck topped by a small head. What? Emu, second largest bird in the world, after the ostrich. They're from Australia. I don't remember studying about no emu. You buddies with all these dudes? No, just the buffalo. So, go ahead. What happened? What happened? Mars Bar snorted. What happened was, I went out and rescued the dumb fish. Like to get myself killed. Maniac touched Mars Bar's arm. He's okay? Mars Bar snickered. Yeah, he's okay. But that ain't the main part. The main part is how he was all grabbing onto me coming off them tracks, shaking, shivering, hugging, like he wanted to climb inside me. I was afraid. He shook his head, giggled, afraid the fish belly was going to kiss me. They laughed. Maniac tried to picture it, the two of them making their way across the trestle, tie by tie, arms wrapped around each other. And even that ain't the mainest part, said Marsbar, his voice rising in wonder. Even when we got off, the midget wouldn't let me go. We're off it, I says to him. You're rescued. But all he does is grab me harder, like he's an octopus or something. Off the platform, down the steps, out to the street. He's still doing it. I couldn't pry him off nohow. So, said Maniac, what did you do? What I do? I took him home. Maniac stopped dead. What? Marsbar shrugged. I figured, let my mom pry him off me. Of course, the other one had to come too, but I made him leave them muddy sneakers outside. He put his nose to a fence. What's in there? I don't see nothing. Prairie dog town. They're underground. So what then? So my mother took over. She pried the one off me, and soon she does, he jumps right onto her like an octopus. I go to pull him off, and she gets all mad at me and says, let him go, let him go. She gets the wet one dried off, takes off his clothes, and puts my old stuff on him. Stuff she'd been saving case I get a little brother someday. But I won't, because my mom can't have no babies no more. And I ain't even come to the craziest part yet. What's that? They didn't want to go home. They stayed all day. My mother babying them, feeding them. I tell her not to. She swats me away. Sometimes my mom ain't got no sense. She makes me play games with them. Monopoly and stuff. Finally, my father drives them home. It's after dark. They're getting out of the car, and know what they say to me? I'm in the car too. He wagged his head. They asked me to come in and play that game of theirs. Rebels. They beg me. They say, come on, please, if you play with us, we'll let you be white. You believe that? Maniac chuckled. I believe it. They walked on. Magee? Yeah? I had to ask you something. Now I gotta tell you something. What's that? You smell like a buffalo. Ears of 100 different shapes prickled at the long, loud laughter of the boys. Magee? Marsbar said after a spell. Yeah? My mother wants to ask you something, too. Your mother? Yeah, like I told her about you, you know. Actually, she already heard about you. So? She wants to know, why don't you come to our house? Maniac turned, stared directly at Marsbar. Marsbar looked away. He said nothing more. They walked on, silent among the crickets and fireflies. Having made a full circle of the zoo, they were back at the pen of the American bison. Maniac said, I can't. Why not? Said Marsbar. My house not good enough? My mother? Maniac struggled for words. I didn't say I didn't want to. It's just, I don't know. Things happen. I can't. Look, man, Marsbar snapped. Ain't nobody saying come live with us. All she's saying is, you want to come for a little, visit? You want to? Well, come on, you can. That's all. Don't go making no big thing, man. Ain't no big thing. Maniac shuddered. He turned his eyes to the sky, beyond the flickering fireflies to the stars. If there were answers, they were as far away as the constellations. I gotta go, he said. And before Marsbar could react, he was over the fence and hurrying for the lean-to. Final chapter, chapter 46. The teeth of the buffalo clamped firmly upon his ear and lifted his head up from the straw, up from sleep. Marsbar was right. They do eat people. The buffalo did more than bring great pain to his ear. It spoke to him. Ain't you nice? Ain't you nice? But the voice was of the buffalo was the voice of Amanda Beale, and its teeth were her fingers pulling and wrenching his poor ear till he was sitting upright. See that? She snapped, and scrambled his brains with a smack to the head. He'd rather she pulled his ear. There you go, making me say ain't. I have not said that word all year long, and now you go making me so mad. She snatched a handful of straw and flung it at him. I'm sorry, he said. He wondered if he would have better luck sleeping in the emu pen. Can I ask a question? Make it quick, she growled. Except for making you say ain't. What is it I'm saying I'm sorry for? What? She screeched. She was standing above him, hands on hips. He didn't need the light of day to feel the look on her face. You're sorry for a whole mess of things, boy. You're sorry because you didn't accept Snickers's invitation to his house. And you're sorry because he came throwing a ball up against my bedroom window and waking me up and telling me I had to get up out of my bed and sneak out of my house in the middle of the night and come out here and do something about all this. That is why you are sorry, boy. Maniac yawned. Snickers? That's what I'm changing his name to. How bad can you act if everybody's calling you, she said it loud, Snickers? A voice came rasping from the fence. Shut up, girl. Maniac howled with laughter. It struck him that it had been a long time since it had reared back like this, so he just let the laughter carry on as long as it wanted. When he finally settled down, Amanda said, Okay, let's go. Huh? Said Maniac. Let's go. Where? Home. Whose? Mine, yours, ours. Come on, I'm sleeping. Oh no. Maniac opened his mouth to speak, to protest, to explain, but there was too much. 100 nights would not be long enough to explain, to make her understand. So he simply said, I can't, and lay back down. In an instant, he was bolt upright again, yanked by a hand he couldn't believe belonged to a girl. Don't tell me can't. I didn't come all the way out here in my nightshirt and my slippers and climb that fence and almost kill myself so I could hear you tell me can't. She was yelling. Several pens away, Prairie Dog Town stirred. Heads popped into the moonlight. You got it all wrong, Buster. You ain't got... Oh, see? She kicked him. You do not have a choice. I am not asking you. I'm telling you. You are coming home with me, and you are going to sleep in my room, which is going to be your room. And I don't care if you sleep on the floor, the windowsill, or what, but you are going to sleep there and not here. And you're going to sleep there tonight and tomorrow night and the night after that and the night after that and every night, except maybe once in a while if you decide to sleep over at Snickers's house, if he ever asks you again. This is not your home. Now move. She jerked him to his feet. Applause and a brief whistle came from the fence. Amanda led him by the hand across the muddy, lumpy earth. Boost me, she commanded at the fence. He boosted her. Marsbar helped her down from the other side. Maniac hesitated, then climbed over himself. They walked through the zoo and down the boulevard, the three of them, Amanda and Marsbar / Snickers and Maniac. Amanda grumbling all the way. You're more trouble outside the house than in it. Now I'm going to throw these slippers away. There's probably buffalo poop all over them. And you better not come within 10 feet of me, boy, till you get a bath. Maniac said nothing. He was quite content to let Amanda do the talking, for he knew that behind her grumbling was all that he had ever wanted. He knew that finally, truly, at long last, someone was calling him home. And that's it. Fantastic book. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Bye.